Welcome back to WaterparkRangers, Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode, we progressed further in the Tower of the Gods dungeon using our bow and arrows, and got some stuff that we couldn't get earlier. This episode, we're going to go through the last portion of this dungeon. So here we're calling down our Tavros-looking buddy. The problem with him is that there's a laser field in front of us, so we can't just walk through with him. So, you gotta use this, the command melody, which we've actually only used once previously to get that rabbit statue to come follow us. It's really only used twice in this dungeon, now that I think about it. So the lasers don't affect him. He can walk right through, not taking any damage at all, and stand right on that switch. So after that, we'll cancel, keeping him on the switch to weigh him down. From here, we'll pick him back up, and it sets the lasers back on, but now that we're through, we don't really need to care about that. Oh yeah, and now we have a whiz rope to deal with that spawns in this room after you bring the statue in. Okay, that was dangerous. Damn, I'm getting some good whiz rope dodges in. So, it takes 4 hits to defeat. A jump attack is worth 2, so 2 jump attacks will do it in. If you get close and they're on the ground, they're really not that tough to deal with. Oh, and a nice big magic thing. That's nice. Unfortunately, we need to stack a lot more statues onto the skills this time, because the statue that we're going to carry across is going to add weight to the platform we're going to use. You'll see it. It kind of makes sense. So we've got the weight of 4 holding down that scale. And so the statue and I are probably worth about 2, maybe 3 at most. So that's still going to be heavier, so it can still let us get across without the platform dipping and not letting us jump to the other side. Very simple puzzle. There's a more complicated version of it in Twilight Princess, but due to my vow, I will not talk about Twilight Princess that much during this Let's Play. Not that it's a bad game, it's far from it. Just, it's not the game that we're playing right now, so we should focus on what's going on. So that's the 3rd statue. We have all of them in place. So after you have all 3, you don't get another door open. Instead, you get something a little bit different, a little bit more special. The triangles at each of them shoots out basically beams that combine to form this pink portal-looking thing. And that's our ride to the next floor. So let's have a good look at it. So there's opening through which we will travel. It's very interesting. The Tower of the Gods is filled with all these weird things like laser switches and teleport beams and all this stuff that you really can't find anywhere else. Though I guess they technically have those tractor beams in caves that pull you out, but that's because apparently they couldn't think of a more realistic way for you to leave a cave, like by throwing your rope out of it and climbing up that way or something. Oh, just a minor aesthetic complaint, I suppose. But anyway, in this room, you've got to weigh down some of those light switches. There are pots that you can use instead of the Armos. Unfortunately, those pots are guarded by Beamos, so unless you want to fight them, you're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, and just get the Armos. And yeah, I guess we could handle the Beamos easily enough, but it's more straightforward to just go to the big key this way. Yeah, it is the big key. It's a little bit confusing that, in a lot of the other Zelda games, I think, at least in Majora's Mask, as I remember, because I played that kind of recently, they don't call it the big key, they call it the boss key. And I'm not sure what it's more frequently called throughout the series. I mean, I've only played a few of the Zelda games. It's a massive series. There's over 14 games in it. Because I'm also including, yes, the CDI ones, as well as probably some other stuff that I've never heard of, and Crossbow Training also, which is a short little extra title for the Wii that kind of marketed the Zapper product. Anyway, after you deal with those 2 Armos that awaken after you get the big key, as you can see, we've gotten everything in the dungeon, just gotta go down that hallway to the boss. And now with the big key, you should be able to take care of that super awesome looking eye lock thing that blocks away. Oh yeah, and we also get this outdoors area of the dungeon, which I think is really cool. We have a new type of Beamos here, the blue Beamos. But unlike the red, it doesn't home in on you, it just fires in place to stop you from passing. So, if you just get close enough, but not too close, you can shoot the eye once it does that. Or you could use a bomb. Or you could try and roll past it, or jump past or whatever, which is pretty dangerous, but you can do it. And we got one of these Kargoks to deal with also. There are Kargoks flying around outside. So you'll see the difference between the blue and the red Beamos pretty soon, because we got a red one right here. It's not just going to block our path, but it fired after us, as you can see. So with 2 blue Beamos, you can probably throw 1 bomb to take him out. Whoa! Oh, a Kargok just flew in at the last second, but it actually got clipped by the laser, so it got hurt. You know, just for fun, I'm going to try and hit it from a distance here with arrows. Once again, proving my incredible marksmanship. Never mind. It's always easier to target. It proves nothing if you can shoot it normally. I mean, that's why Wind Waker isn't an FPS. And also, look how high up we are. That's a little rim of, that surrounds the tower down there. This is really high. So let's just dash past these two BMOs. We have no reason to fight them. And just gather some spoils before the boss. You actually never encounter BMOs ever again. They're exclusive to the Tower of the Gods, which is very rare to say for any enemy creature in Wind Waker. So yes, you need your bombs and arrows for this boss. And yeah, I suppose that'll do. So, let's get this show on the road. I personally think this room looks really cool. The walls kind of remind me of, well, you'll see when they light up later. It's like a Final Destination for Melee.
You have done well to find your way to this place. O Chosen One. Accept this final challenge.
I'll admit, as the idiot kid I was, reading that line for the first time, playing this game for the first time, I thought he was the final boss, because he's got kind of the makings of him. 2 giant floating hands, a giant robotic head. I mean, this is a pretty crazy looking boss. He's like a giant robot tiki thing sent by the gods to face the heroes. Anyway, his name I think is Godon or something like that. Maybe I'm getting the pronunciation wrong. It's really weird how some of these names are spelled. So the basic gist of the fight is he's got 2 hands with eyes on them. So you gotta target each hand and shoot them quickly twice with arrows, otherwise they'll open up if you take too long. So each hand has to be shot twice. Then what happens is the head will activate and start firing its lasers around the arena. So you want to roll out of the way of those and shoot each of its eyes 2 times. Obviously they only open up after you hit the hands. And then, when he's stunned like that, you throw a bomb in his mouth, and you have to do that 3 times. So, I just sped through that first phase. I did it so quickly, you didn't even get to see that these hands actually have attacks. They got combination moves where they attack from opposite sides to form together for a stronger attack. Or they can just try and push you off the arena, all kinds of nasty stuff. So unless you're really fast and really good with targeting, they're going to give you a hard time. Also, just be aware that the edges of this arena are electric, so if you fall in, you're going to take some shock damage until you can climb back up. So don't get hit in by the lasers or get put in by the cannons. That's quite annoying, and it's really can be a bit lethal if you're horrible with aiming and you have very little hearts like I did the first time playing this game. But with targeting, the amazing L-target feature, this guy is really quite a pushover. He's just harder than the other bosses so far, just solely based on the fact that you have to do more against him, and he takes a little bit longer. That's it, though. So you see they're trying to form combinations and stuff, but I'm just moving a little bit too quick for them. So I did fall into the electric barrier, so I guess I shouldn't brag too much. It's inevitable. At least we're doing really well on ammunition. One thing I can say is that if you run out of arrows, don't worry. Godon will actually drop some more from his nose. I think the same thing if you run out of bombs, so you can't really ever run out of ammunition to use this fight that way. So don't worry about that. Oh, I got hit by the last bullet. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. I was doing pretty well overall. Oh yeah, and another last thing. When he's charging his laser like that with those sparks, if you want, I don't like to do this because it feels cheap, you can roll underneath him when he's charging. He's charging before he shoots, and just like that, he'll stop firing altogether. And just like that, we've defeated him.
The path can now be opened. O Chosen One. What will now come to pass is tied to your fate, to the path that you have chosen. Go forward with caution.
On a more interesting note, I kind of noticed that while we were talking to him, I guess I must have pressed the bomb button one more time, by mistake probably. So it kind of blew up on us during that little cutscene that was supposed to be all serious and stuff. So I try to keep pretty straight about that and not completely burst out laughing while he was saying his serious, you know, hero lines or whatever. But yeah, now we have 10 hearts, so our heart gauge or whatever looks fantastic. Oh yeah, and you can even take a deluxe pictograph of him when his head is just on the wall like that. We're not safe until the beast's head is mounted on my wall. So yeah, you don't have to worry about taking it during the fight. And with that, we're going to warp up here, and you'll get to see what's on top of the tower next episode in Let's Play Wind Waker. So, see you then.